Game 1 and 2 between the Nets and the Celtics have offered a lot of excitement. After hitting the game winner in Game 1, the Celtics continued to frustrate Durant with their stifling defense. As we dive into this complete breakdown of Games 1 and 2 of the Celtics versus the Nets, I'm going to take you through 4 keys to the Celtics Game 1 win and 2 keys that helped them to win Game 2. We're going to start out in Game 1 with the Nets turnovers. They had 16 in the game, including 6 from Kevin Durant. Durant had a tough time throughout the game. Here we're going to see in a dribble handoff situation, the Celtics are going to stay to double team, and they're going to force this turnover. Tough defense wasn't specific to Durant, as we see Kyrie get smothered here at times. He would turn the ball over as well, although he had a really solid fourth quarter for the Nets, almost propelling them to victory. But the Celtics did a great job really shrinking the floor, as we see here, with players in the paint and really forcing some tough situations when the Nets would try to get into the paint. We're going to see Durant here again trying to get into the paint. I want to point out the Celtics ball screen coverage because I think it's important to recognize. They're going to come over the screen to take away any opportunity for Durant to pull up a three, and they're going to soft hedge underneath. The Celtics are well known for being a switching defense, but when Durant has the basketball, more times than not, they're going to use a soft hedge, as we see right here from Tice. Now Durant is going to be dribbling into this soft hedge, which is going to make it a lot harder for him. And they also will stunt, as we're going to see in clips in Game 1 and 2, with guys like Horford or Brown into the paint. Look at what Durant is seeing. He's got Tatum trailing here, getting in the air to take away any shot opportunity. He's got Tice in the paint. He's trying to look up to see if there's options, but there's not a lot out there for him. Celtics did a really nice job, as we'll look at in a couple minutes, on Durant, but really on the Nets in general, forcing those 16 turnovers. Every time they turn the ball over, they're going to look to attack on the other end, and Smart's going to get a three-pointer here. We're going to see another turnover here by the Nets, and again, they're going to try to look to KD, who had a tough shooting game, but also is having a tough time here. Look at the job the Celtics are doing, bumping cutters, not allowing Durant to get across the paint. Horford also helping out. They're going to let this pass go to Drummond. They're not worried about him from this area, although Tatum could help if they needed him to. They're going to really take away Durant. They're very physical with Kevin Durant these first 2 games of the series and did a really, really nice job defensively. Durant's going to look to try to turn around and hit a jump shot. Again, Celtics get their hands on the ball, right back the other way for 2 points. And one of the players I want to point out who did a really nice job on Kevin Durant in this Game 1 and has done a nice job in the series so far is Grant Williams down here for the Celtics, number 12. He's been very, very physical with Durant here, pushing him out away from the basket, making it a tough catch, but also doing a great job moving his feet and beating Durant to the spot, as we're going to see here. There's another ball screen from Drummond. You're going to see Williams fight over the top. You're going to see Horford soft hedge and recover a little bit quicker because that screen was set a little bit below the three-point line. So I think Horford had a more concern of that ball going quick bounce pass into Drummond there. So Williams is going to come right back onto Durant. Here's the stunt by Brown at the top, as we've seen. As Durant's driving into the paint, they're really going to show and really get into the gap here, a la pack line style, and really take away any type of opportunity. But Durant's really going to try to force it in the paint here. Great job by Williams. He's showing his hands. He's absorbing the contact, but holding his ground by Durant here. Just a great job. And then we're going to see Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year, and here's why. Gets his hand on that basketball, and now the Celtics are going the other way. Once again, with an opportunity. Another great job here by the Celtics, forcing the turnover on Durant. You can see he's starting to get frustrated, not getting back as quickly on defense here. Celtics are going to have a quality possession after forcing that turnover. Great ball movement, and they get the ball into their star, Jason Tatum, who's going to hit a tough shot against Durant on the other end. As Durant turns the ball over and then gives up baskets on the other end of the floor, although I thought he did a pretty good job here defensively, that's going to be frustrating for him in games 1 and game 2, where he also had 6 turnovers as well. You're going to see Tatum do a great job, 2 points on Durant. The last turnover I want to look at here, again, another one by Durant. Grant Williams is on him. You got Brown stunting at the basketball, looking to recover on Dragic because he is a good shooter, doesn't want to give up that shot. But Durant is going to see that body in the paint. He's got Horford in the paint. So tough for him to get into the basket and into the key to get off the shots that he typically hits and typically likes to take. Now, he does force the issue here, and Brown does a really nice job staying, getting his hand in there, and then he'll look to recover afterwards. But Brown does a great job. Durant's going to turn the ball over here at a critical point in the basketball game. So we've seen the turnovers and had a little bit of a look into the defense on Kevin Durant, but these numbers don't lie. Durant had 6 turnovers in the game. He shot 9 for 24, which is a little bit better than he's going to do in game 2, and he was 1 for 5 on 3-pointers. Let's take a deeper dive into this defense on Durant. Durant's going to miss a lot of shots in games 1 and 2, and this is the first possession in game 1 where I think the Celtics really do a nice job setting the tone as they're going to cover Durant. Durant is only shooting about 30% from the floor in the first 2 games. That's going to have to improve for the Nets to win this series. And here the Celtics are going to get a switch on Durant. Brown's going to switch with Tatum. They do a nice job here. We're going to see Tice stay, and there's your soft hedge with Brown coming over the top. This is how they're going to defend Durant. And again, here's the other defender stunting. What Durant typically would like to do here, yeah, he likes to pull up, but I think he also would like to attack Tice, knowing that he's probably a little bit quicker and can probably use that to his advantage. But Horford stunting and really getting into the gap here is going to cause Durant to hesitate. And when he is forcing it in there, he's tending to turn the ball over. So really nice job by the Celtics here. And you can see Brown, and you can see Brown recover here and get a hand up to Durant. The Celtics will do a better job in these situations as the game goes on. But this sets the tone early in the game as to how they're going to defend Durant in this series. And he misses his first shot. Now Durant's going to come down. He's going to pull up the 3. And look at this defense. Look at the closeout in the contested shot. They're not going to give Durant anything easy in this series as we've seen in the first 2 games. We'll keep going here. Durant's going to catch. There's that soft hedge again, right? So we're going to come over the top. Horford's going to be in the paint area, soft hedging. And look at the other eyes on Durant looking to help. You got Pritchard in the corner who's going to look to stunt and recover if he needs to close down that area. But this is what Durant's looking at consistently. 3 players surrounding him. And I think there's some opportunities that I'll talk about in a little while for the Nets players in these types of situations. Again, trail contest by the Celtics. Horford's right there. Another missed shot by Durant. And now the Celtics are going to look to get out in transition. Nice extra pass, and White's going to knock down this shot. So not only are the turnovers going to lead to scoring opportunities in transition, but also Durant's missed shots are going to lead to those opportunities as we just saw there. Here's the Celtics again, ball screen coverage. Williams over the top, Horford soft hedging, everyone else packing into the paint to really shrink the floor for Durant. And look at the contest here. You're going to get White again stunting into the gap. Look at this. You got 3 players surrounding Durant. This is why he's been frustrated. This is why he's had a tough time scoring. But I do think there's opportunities here, right? If he does kick this ball out across the corner, that these players might recover. But what I would like to see the Nets do in game 3 is take this player and make a 45 cut. Pritchard's not seeing the ball here. He's got eyes to Durant, as expected. Great player. Also thinking about tagging this roll. If this player does settle outside and they get a 45 cut, it could draw Tatum's attention, which would allow Durant to skip the ball to the opposite corner. I think the Nets have to make some type of adjustment here. The Celtics are just putting 3 players around Durant. The other thing they could possibly do, maybe make a back cut here. So when Durant starts to drive the lane, have this player back cut and at least take this stunting defender away from it and let Durant maybe snake into this ball screen, get Williams on his back, and then go one-on-one on Horford. The Nets are not making those simple adjustments right now that I think could open up opportunities for Durant. Make a 45 cut. When you see Durant coming at you, cut back door and open up a gap on that side of the floor, and that could possibly give them some opportunities to score. I know that the spacing is important. I know that, sometimes with a guy like Durant, you stand as players get into the paint, he'll find you out here. Right now, it is not working. He's getting smothered on defense, and it's forcing him into tough shots like this. Horford has also done a nice job on Durant, as we're going to see in this possession here, forcing Durant into a tough contested shot and miss. I really like this possession because Durant does get into the paint. There's your corner defender stunting. I think he could have a kick out here for a three, but Durant's going to try to force the action, be aggressive here. And look at Smart do a great job. He's straight up on Durant. He gets up in the air with him, forcing a really tough shot. Could it be a foul? Yes. If it is a foul, it's a chance where, he's got to earn it from the free throw line. They don't call it here. The Celtics are going to get the rebound. They're going the other way. Missed shot into an easy 2 points. Durant tried to come right out in the second half and establish himself. But look at the job the Celtics going to do here with Horford. They're Smart again in the gap, really taking away that angle. I don't think the Nets do themselves any justice here with Irving not using great spacing and really getting into the area that allows Smart to stay in the paint and force Durant into a really tough fall away off balance shot. Yes, he's a great player. He'll hit some of these shots, but I don't think this is the shot that he's looking for in this game. And the last Durant shot I want to point out is at the end of the game. He's got Jason Tatum on him, players in the paint. Brooklyn's got a 1 point lead late in the fourth quarter. Think he has an opportunity to hit Dragic here. There's about 3 seconds left on the clock, but Tatum is so tight on him that I don't know that Durant is seeing the floor as well as he typically does. He's not going to make that pass to Dragic. Probably could have went to Dragic quick and a dump inside for 2 points. One of the best players in the world has the ball in his hands, and 9 out of 10 times he's going to take a shot here, and Tatum's going to do a really nice job contesting and forcing him into a really, really difficult shot at the end of the game. And we know Durant's going to miss this shot. We'll take a look at this one more time. And this missed shot would give the Celtics an opportunity for the win, and Jason Tatum would come through in the clutch. In game one, another thing that hurt the Nets was Drummond getting into foul trouble. He picked up 4 fouls in the first. I thought the Celtics did a really nice job attacking him at the rim. And the last factor in the first game, but certainly not least, was Jason Tatum, 31 points, 8 assists, also threw in some rebounds, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks. Great stat sheet from Tatum. Tatum did a nice job distributing the basketball and also creating his own offense. But we know that no shot will be bigger than the one he hit for the game winner. And one thing I want to point out here, I mentioned this with the Nets when Durant has the ball to make that 45 cut. And if you look here, he's going to make a cut to the basket, and look at Durant and Kyrie Irving. Both players are going to have their head turned, in addition to Dragic, who's going to allow Tatum to make this 45 cut behind the defense. Great spin off the catch, making what was a tough shot at the end of the game on Irving. The Celtics played well enough to win game one, and that's going to carry into game two with what I believe are 2 key factors to that victory. In the game 2 keys to victory, one was, again, the defense on Durant. He had 6 turnovers, was 4 for 17 from the floor, and 1 for 2 from 3-point range. Durant would shoot about 30% in games 1 and 2 combined, with the Celtics swarming him, shooting about 30% in those first 2 games. Here's Durant off the bounce, contested shot by Brown. Here's Tyson the gap, also with the hand up, and Horford on the soft edge. The Celtics are going to stay consistent in their ball screen coverage with Durant. Look at those 3 players forming a triangle around him. Now, I would like to have seen this player make a back cut to the basket. That's an opportunity to maybe take Tice out of the play and take this gap defender out of there. Durant, again, could maybe snake on Brown and take Horford one-on-one with Brown on his back. Little two-man game here with Drummond. There's opportunities and things they can do, and I know typically we want to space the floor, and there's good reasons why you stand out on the perimeter, especially with Durant, for opportunities to kick out. I'm just not seeing enough of those right now, and I think they have to throw some cuts in to try to put some wrinkles in the Celtics defense. I think the Celtics would then have to make adjustments. Also, looking on the weak side, I see Tatum looking at Durant. I think there's an opportunity for a cut here into the paint. At least that will keep the Celtics on their toes a little bit. A lot of standing by the Nets, which I know oftentimes is what you want in ball screen play, but I think there's opportunities to cut. You could have players, Kyrie, switch up here with Brown and just have them move. That could cause some issues, but Tice knows his players just standing here. It's easy to stunt and recover. So I think they have to do a little bit more with their movement in Game 3 if they're going to win this series when Durant has the basketball. And Durant knocked down the shot in that last clip I saw here. That was one of his 4 made shots. And I wanted to bring you to this clip where you see how physical the Celtics are being with Durant in this game. Kyrie does try to make a back cut here when Durant doesn't have the ball, and it's going to lead to a turnover, but Tatum is making it tough for him. He's going to switch with Smart, the defensive player of the year. Nothing easy, and a great switch here from Smart to jump onto Kyrie and take away this backdoor pass. Durant even struggled to get it going in transition. Great hands here by Horford, which is going to lead to the Celtics going the other way. Ball screen coverage again here by the Celtics. There's the soft hedge. Here's going to be the stunt by Smart. Now they do a nice job getting the ball to the roller here, which is going to force Horford to come in, and it's going to be a nice dish outside for a three-pointer, and Brown's going to knock this down. They need more of this from Durant if they're going to be successful in this series. Hit the roller, make the kick. As that happens, they're going to have a tougher time soft hedging and then stunting at Durant because other players are going to knock down shots, and it's going to soften up their coverage, and it's going to allow him to get some easier baskets in this game. I really like this clip because you can see how White stays in the gap, and he's just staying there, not allowing Durant an opportunity to get into the paint and turn the corner on Brown. They really have him smothered here. I would like to see maybe the Nets come up in this situation. Maybe they can set a little screen here on White, and Curry can kind of keep fading or flaring out to the corner because it's going to allow White. Look how quickly he recovers out there on Curry off the bounce. And now Curry's going to try to drive. Nice switch here by the Celtics, which is going to lead to a turnover for the Nets. I've mentioned it a couple times, but you can see the physicality here by the Celtics. Horford's bumping the cutter. Williams bumping Durant on the cut. Williams getting up on him. I thought this could have actually even been a foul on Durant, who's pushing Williams, holding his ground. Hands are straight up. Nice job by Williams here. And then Durant's going to look to get the basketball. He sets a screen instead. Then they're going to end up with White on Durant. As we watch this through again in the physicality, I know they're going to call this a foul here, but I thought that this was a tough look by Durant. He's not going to really load into his shot. He's going to try to hold it up over White, as we're going to see here, and he's going to try to just shoot right up over him in that situation. You can see how White gets up under him. This is not a shot that is a great one for Durant. I very rarely, if at all, will see him do that, but you can see he's getting taken out of his game with the physicality and the way the Celtics have defended him every time he touches the basketball. Look at the players in the gaps, pack line style. This is what Durant is looking at, a box of 4 players with him every time he touches the basketball. Very, very tough to score against the Celtics defense. Last clip I want to bring you to here is we're late in the ball game. Tied at 92 with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Again, Durant having the basketball, looking at these 4 players that are all in a box, packing into the paint to take away any opportunities for Durant to score in the paint area. Williams doing a great job, and it's going to force an uncharacteristic turnover. Want to play this one back again because I really think Durant is frustrated at this point, and that causes him to have a turnover. The Celtics assists were also a difference maker. They had 27 on the game. The Celtics played unselfishly the whole game, and Jason Tatum led the team with 10 assists of his own. Here's another one by Tatum, very unselfish in transition as well. The Celtics continue to distribute the basketball like this. The Nets are going to have a very tough time keying in on Tatum or any other player. And it's going to continue to give the Celtics easy shots against the Nets. So it's a stat to keep an eye on as you watch Game 3 to see if the Celtics continue to make passes like this one we saw by Tatum. And I want to point out as we watch this clip play again that Smart does a really nice job here screening on the backside away from Tatum, allowing Williams to get an opportunity to score. This is something I think the Nets can do when Durant has the ball and the Celtics cheat into the paint too far, is set a screen on the backside. They can switch, the players can relocate or exchange on the backside. They can make a 45 cut on the backside. I think they need to do more than just your typical standing. And you can see the difference that this screen is going to make for Williams, giving him an open three-pointer. Last two assists here. Another great dime by Jason Tatum. And of course, Jaylen Brown, who had a great game too himself. As we look back at this series, and in particular games 1 and 2, I really believe that the keys from game 1, the turnovers by the Nets, 16 in total. We also saw that as a problem in game 2, particularly for Kevin Durant, who had 6 in each of the first 2 games. The defense on Durant, forcing him to take a lot of tough shots. We talked about that ball screen defense, as well as when he has the ball, how they're really getting into the pack line. Foul trouble in game 1 we didn't see as a problem in game 2 for Drummond, but Jason Tatum having a great game in series so far. 31 points, 8 assists in game 1. He had 10 assists in game 2 and double digits in scoring once again. And then we looked at game 2, and I would say that, again, that defense on Durant, that's going to be the overarching theme that we'll talk about down the road if the Celtics are to win this series. 6 turnovers, 4 of 17 shooting for Durant, 1 of 2 on threes, 30% in this series through the first 2 games. As we break down games 3 and game 4, I'll be looking for those trends as well. And then the Celtics assists in game 2, 27 in the game. That's an amazing number to the Nets 16. If you like this video, then make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to Get Better Basketball on YouTube. Turn on your notifications and drop me a comment down below to share your thoughts.